think Ohio, that was bringing it up on their 990s. What they're doing is they're using a email alert system that they use so that the department will get a notification if somebody hasn't filed their 990, so then they can get on the phone and say, hey, I think you missed the opportunity, you need to get in there and refile it. Am I correct, Jason?
So currently we're in the process of doing Gmail accounts for every chapter in which the JA, the second vice, first vice of the president will have access to, as well as the department officers. So in states that also, in addition to the IRS stuff, we have to file entity reports with the Secretary of State. And originally, when those corporations were set up, whoever set it up, it went to their personal email address.
Correct.
And there's cases of which chapters are dissolved because that member is not even a member anymore and didn't bother to tell anybody else, and no notifications were sent. So we're trying to get it all generalized so that not only the chapter gets the message, but also the department as well.
So that's basically what we set up and discussed and wanted to share with you guys. It's a great idea, it's working in those states. So it's something to look at if you guys want to get with Jason, or I believe, wasn't it Ohio? Okay. But get with Jason or whatever, and they can kind of tell you how they did it. This is what it's about, sharing the information, what's helping them keep track of it. So that is our report. Motion to accept my report.
Second.
Can you say name?
Bob Roberts, Texas.
So motion on the floor to accept the 990 report, seconded by Bob Roberts from Texas. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passed. Standard operating procedures. JA, who is your committee chair? That guy, Steve?
Steve.
Okay.
It's been a long weekend already.
Yeah. Thank you, Steve.
Steve Kelly from Florida.
Good afternoon. So at 10:20 this morning, we had a meeting for a resolution that was put in by Florida.
Hold on. We're doing SOP, the CBO committee is separate.
Oh. Sorry, I didn't understand the answer.
We're gonna go ahead and do the CBO committee right now.
Go ahead.
Okay. So the resolution is 2024, it's on -001, it's on page 14 of your book. So you can follow along because it is a little detailed. Resolution 2024-001. Riders unified by law subject amend Article X membership. Submitted by Ambets Riders Department of Florida. Whereas, in the event a Riders National or Riders Department president has resigned or otherwise not able to fulfill the complete term of their elected period, the trickle-down effect of the other elected officers will be thrown out of cycle or would shorten their expected overall time and experience in the office. And whereas, as the Riders' first vice is inclined to move up to president, the second vice or sergeant-at-arms may want to remain in place as they lack experience as an elected national or department officer to conduct themselves as the product expert or lack experience in training for the next position above them and would benefit from the extended time. Therefore, be it resolved to 10.8, officer term limits. A, Ambets Riders National President, the Riders National First Vice President, the Riders National Second Vice President, and the Riders National Sergeant-at-Arms may hold office for 2 one-year terms and shall not succeed themselves, and we're suggesting to add, except in the case of succession as described in 10.8C, all other national officers shall have no term limits. B, All AMVETS Riders Department and Chapter Presidents may hold office for 2 one-year terms and shall not succeed themselves, and we're suggesting to add, except in the case of succession as described in 10.8C. However, they may be elected again if no one runs for the office, or if the person is re-elected by a 2/3 majority of delegates present. All other department and chapter officers shall have no term limits. And we're suggesting to add the last section, C, the AMVETS Riders National and Department President and/or Riders National First Vice President, Riders National Second Vice President, and the Riders National Sergeant at Arms terms shall be extended to no more than 3 total years, only if filling and/or staying in such office by succession due to a vacancy occurring between conventions. Having filled such office by succession or appointment to a vacancy shall not constitute an election. The committee today reviewed this after this suggestion, and it was adopted by the committee. So I need a second.
Second. Bob Alberry. Laura.
Discussion. I see a hand over there.
I just have a question on C where it says 3 total years. Does that need to say consecutive also, or just, because,
No, so it's a good question. So what it means is, if a officer comes in mid-stride and picks up a space for an officer's position, and then they get re-elected for 2, they don't get discounted by that.
right, no, I understand the intention. I just
Okay.
didn't know if somebody served 2 years and then came back and served another 2 years, is that?
No, it's a different situation.
It says only if filling and or staying in such office due to
Right.
succession.
Okay,
All right?
perfect.
Anybody else? No more hands? I'm looking for the room, yes. No hands, okay. So, with no other discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Aye.
1 opposed. Okay, adoption passes.
Thank you, Steve.
Okay, and so that was from the CBO committee.
Yeah, all right.
Oh, yep, that'll be fine. Tom, would you like to come up with the, standard operating?
Alright, so everybody knows that during the for a standard operating procedure, national department or chapter, they can be changed at any meeting. So due to events, which is how most laws are made, is due to events. Have a SOP that I'd like to add to the national SOP. And it reads, upon completion of the term, the national president will receive the full rights and privileges of a past national president. If term has not been completed, either voluntarily or involuntarily, all rights, privileges, and benefits of past national president are forfeited. So I would entertain a motion to put this in our standard operating procedure.
Motion to put the SOPs.
All right, I have a motion by Robert Whistler, second by Larry Richardson. Any discussion?
Yes, Bob Roberts, Texas.
Yes, sir.
I think it's a little bit unfair for them if they are forced to resign the office through no motion, intent of their own. For example, if we have a president, say they break both legs, they cannot serve the office. It's
Will you
not-
accept the handicap?
Do I? Well, what again, if something comes up, it's not their fault. It's not by their decision. They are forced to resign. Why should they be penalized?
So maybe I should add something in there and we can readdress this.
I would like it, if they resign of their own accord, of their own, if they want to resign of their own free will, yes, they should lose their benefit. But if they are forced to resign by actions or occurrences not of their design, they should not be penalized.
What if they've been brought up on charges?
Do what?
What if they've been brought up on charges?
That's because of something they did. That's
Well, that would be an
their fault.
involuntary resignation.
Do what?
That would be an involuntary resignation.
No, it would be suspension due to, unacceptable acts of conduct.
Right. Which is involuntary.
No, they voluntarily did those acts. They did voluntarily.
Alright, we gotta,
Yes, sir.
What if you just add in except for medical reasons?
So either voluntarily or non-voluntarily.
You just removed it non-voluntarily.
Well, no, I don't. Yeah, I would say, with the exception of medical condition.
Yeah.
Yes. One at a time.
Tom?
Hold on, I can only write so fast. Okay, who was it? Linda?
Linda Bodkin, Georgia 10. What about situations where they have some sort of like maybe a death in the family that precludes them from being able to fulfill their duties? Maybe we should say, instead of just saying a medical situation, just say like an emergency situation. That would cover some of those things.
I understand there are rabbit holes we can chase.
Put medical, that would cover that. Don't put it at all.
Medical emergency.
Emergencies of a medical.
Let's say an emergency condition. Because then you're talking about something that they had no control.
So would that fall under exception of medical condition? Is there a different word I could use except for condition? I like that.
Conditions under control. There you go. That's what I think about that.
I like the, with the exception of medical.
Circumstances.
Can you spell that?
Circumstances. Sound it up, sir.
So I cannot make fun of Kentucky for the rest of the day.
Tom?
Yes.
Hi, do I have to say who I am? Marlene Gaten from Michigan. So if you're president, unless you're forced, that's your own choice. You're not forced. If my legs were broken, I'd still want to keep my position. That's where I rely on my board. And then I would do the rest of my term. Not forced. If you're forced, I mean, if you do it, you do it on your own will, and you know what the consequences are. That you're not going to get that recognition for later. I don't know if that makes any sense, but that's how I feel. Not necessary to add in that verbiage.
May I speak as a guest?
Yes,
On
sir.
the lighter side, what about deportation?
I cannot do that because he is teaching me La Cucaracha.
Back corner.
This is all in reference to what happened in the past year, am I correct?
That's why all rules are ever formed.
All right. So, the people that were involved in what happened want to know why I was forced to resign. That wasn't my choice. And for you guys to sit up here and put these kind of CBL issues in there to prohibit me from benefiting from the 20 years of service I put in this organization is a slap in everybody's face who's ever worked for a position.
Larry, I want you to calm down for a second. This isn't about you. This is about 5 years from now, if this may come up.
I don't understand why it's even got to be changed. If a man resigns, he resigns.
Right.
I was forced to. I wasn't resigning on my own will. I was forced out, I was threatened with litigation and investigative reporters that were gonna ruin my life. And for the good of this organization, I stepped down. I certainly hope I don't get penalized for that 5 years from now. That's all I got to say about that.
Okay. So do we have any further discussion?
Call for the vote.
All right, upon completion of the term, the national president will receive the full rights and privileges of a past national president. If term has not been completed, either voluntarily or involuntarily, with the exception of medical circumstances, all rights, privileges, benefits of past national presidents are forfeited. I've got a motion. Got a motion and a second.
Motion.
All right, is there any further discussion? Okay, motion passes, we will add this to the. That's twice today.
Who made the motion?
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign.
Aye.
All right, we will have to do a handle, and I do want to clarify, Arizona, what was your name for the motion? Barry Richardson? Barry. Okay, and the second was, okay, Robert Whistler. So, we will do a hand vote. All in favor, signify by raising your hand.
And please keep them up.
You want to stand and start?
Delegates only.
Only delegates.
Point of order. How do you count delegate votes that showed up after delegate count is already done?
Yeah.
We had other obligations.
That doesn't matter.
It does matter.
You were not here when delegate count was final.
When you come on the floor of the AMVets and you want to speak, we let you speak and vote. When we have obligations within our organization, national officers,
They have to be added on to the delegate count.
Keep your hands up. Sue, did you count? We need two people. Okay, keep your hands up, please. So we can. Sorry, but we just want to make sure.
23.
23. We got 23 yeas. Short of the number. That's short of the number.
All right. Let's have to show the nays. Raise your hand for all the nays.
And 8.
So we had
It's 47. I didn't have my hand up, so it'd be 48 for me. So that'd be 61. So that's the number.
So the 24, we had 23 yeas and 24.
25.
25.
I was writing.
All right, so the nays have it, this does not get adopted. Do we have any other suggestions for an SOP change, addition? Okay, I move my report.
Tom?
Oh, sorry.
George Berkson,
Post 99, Indianapolis. AMVETS is a parent organization, so we have to be somewhere at a meeting, so and you're conducting business here, that's just as important. I think that the AMVETS overrides it, so that's why I got here late. That's why probably some more of us got here late. So, you know, if you're saying we can't vote because we were here, I think that's kind of
I completely understand that, but how we've done it we used to do our meetings on Saturday afternoons, but since we've been incorporated into the joint installation, we've had to bump up our schedule. And I get that it compromises, so our past practice has been, when we get our delegate count, and I apologize to you guys, I really do, but past practice has been that as soon as we start the meeting, that is your delegate count, we can readdress this at any time. Because, I mean, well, how can we keep track? I mean,
so then tomorrow, when you're ready to vote on our floor, as an ambulance, you walk in.
No, you can't,
Because
the door gets shut.
The door gets locked.
The door gets shut and locked, nobody's
When they walk out, they come in, first of all, we went and we passed a rule that you can wear your rider's gear on the floor and be recognized, because we want you to be a part of us. I find it's crazy that we cannot have our legal right to vote on this floor when we're conducting AMVET business and rushing to get over here to participate in an organization that we feel just as much for. If you don't want us, let me know, we won't come here.
May I ask this question, because I did pop in today and I was there for the resolution readings and stuff. How do you determine, when you do your counts, your bullseye numbers, do you go by people in the room or just people that are registered?
People in the room. When we do resolutions, it's those who are on the floor at the time the resolution is read and a vote is called.
So how do you keep track of who's coming in and out of the room? So if you do a count, let's say 200 is your magic number?
No, there's no maximum number. If you got 300 people registered as delegates and you only have 150 on the floor, you go by the 150 votes that are cast, not the whole 300, or you'd never have anything passed. So if there's 150 votes on the floor,
no credentials when
it goes by what's on the floor.
Okay, so I'll concede. Do we want to, and we will change this practice to delegates just for election voting?
Elections only, he's right. He's right by our parent organization.
Now, we have three hands up, we might have something to put into this. Kelly was first, you're second, Jason third.
I was just gonna say maybe we want to wait to do the delegate count until we get to where we actually need to vote and know which is majority, because then that would have solved the problem of the bunch of people that came in.
My apologies, JP, you're absolutely right.
Yes, sir.
Can we make an adoption to the SOP to take into account the fact AMVETS is the parent organization?
Yes.
They could not get here in time for our meeting because of the parent organization. Maybe we could change the SOP to state if a member is held up by a parent organization meeting, he is to be allowed the voting privileges upon arrival.
Okay.
And I would like to address, today, I was over at that meeting for 4.5 hours today. Myself, as well as the other riders in this room, were asked to remove their berets. Yesterday, I was told I couldn't have my red shirt on in that meeting as well. Plus, I would like to say I also spoke on that floor today in front of 200 people and was interrupted on 2 different mics at least 5 times. So, you know, there's definitely some respect issues.
So, to answer your statement, I apologize to you and whoever else was there. We will address this with our National Provost Marshal. If you look at the convention rules, all it says is a collared shirt and no ball caps. That's all it says. Doesn't say anything about your beret, that's your uniform. Doesn't say anything about the color of your shirt, as long as it has a collar. I will make sure that's addressed with our National Provost Marshal.
Thank you.
Thank you. Would you like to make a motion? Would you like to make a motion?
I can, I wasn't here when you had the,
Okay. Yes, sir.
The motion to enter that as an SOP is needed, or we'll take care of it. I so move.
Okay, hold on, I have North Dakota right behind you.
Nathan Miller, North Dakota. I think between the two organizations, I've gotten some conflicting, information too. I've been here all day, I've been here all week and stuff, doing nothing but rider stuff. And I was originally down as a 5th delegate for North Dakota. And one way or another, I got, information given to me that if I went over there and voted on stuff there, and I came over here, that it was understood that it was double dipping. So I, as the only delegate, it came from our other delegates that's the way that they understood it.
that's your delegates, it's not us. That was your delegates who said.
You've been business to the.
I want you on our floor.
But before, please, sir, before you start
Okay,
raising your voice at me, can I at least get through what
Hold
I'm
on,
trying to
let's
say?
get our business underway. If you guys want to have a discussion after, I would certainly appreciate it.
Whoever told these people that.
Okay.
But my point being
No,
is, like
please,
with our.
please, sir, we'll discuss that. That is way off topic right now. As well, we will discuss what you want later, but right now the topic, and I fully agree with Commander Brown. Maybe I wasn't in my right, I haven't done J thing in a minute. So yes, I will, amend to whoever's in the room, because we have our delegates, we have our alternates, we know who they are. So if somebody would like to make a motion to reintroduce this SOP item, we'll do another count.
Nathan Miller, Fargo, North
Point of
Dakota.
order.
Big
Sorry,
motion
the vote
to
is
reintroduce.
Turn it down, so it's voted to be turned down, you can't double dip this. It's already been voted, you
It
have to
cannot
go
be
back.
voted on again.
You have to do it again at the
It has
next
to
date
draw
after you get that vote.
But I'm going on the pretense that it was not done correctly, so.
Well, you're wrong, because it was under the laws that you had at the time, you can't just change it because you just decided to change the rules. That's the point of order. Robert's rule says you can't do that, you have to wait till the next election.
Okay. Jason.
To, go a little bit more on his point, my resolution was voted down today, and it was because it was written improperly or not sent in a timely manner, which it was, but the fact of the matter is, it was voted on the floor. The next time it gets a say is next year. That's the way it is.
That's correct.
So the SOP change was after the vote, so you can't change it, have them in now.
We have to reintroduce it.
All right, so.
I have a question concerning it. What is required to change the SOP? Can it be done in this meeting?
No.
Or do you need to submit it as a change at the next meeting?
I want you to double check to see if I can do it in the second session or if we have to wait till next year.
Okay.
I want you to double check with me, Roberts. All right?
I know on the AMVET floor, resolutions can be introduced on the floor, but they have to pass at 100%. So when he read his, if one person, it was voted down, but if one person would have said no and the rest of the place said yes, it would not have passed. So when resolutions, he mailed his in, but he said, National said they didn't get it. We don't, but, so when he